Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on whether we need to choose an MBA or an MS for engineers. So often when it comes to choosing the right master's program for engineers and pursuing a postgraduate degree, MBA is often the very first choice that comes to everyone's mind. However, there are certain other management degrees as well, which prepare students, and especially students who are coming from a tech background, for a full-fledged managerial role as well. So one such postgraduate degree that we are going to be talking about here is a Master's in Engineering Management. And what we are going to be talking about is how an engineering management degree is the program that brings together the technological problem-solving ability of engineering, and it combines it with the organizational, administrative, and the legal and planning abilities of management, so that learners or graduates, they are able to effectively oversee the operational performance of complex engineering-driven enterprises. So very good evening to all of you. My name is Rakhi Talukdar, and I am a senior associate at Upgrad abroad. And today we have some very distinguished guests from Drexel University. So we have Mr. Kapil Dandekar, who is here from Drexel University. And if I were to take 5 minutes to introduce Mr. Dandekar. So Mr. Dandekar has received the BS degree in electrical engineering from the University of Virginia in 1997. Post that, he has also gone on to pursue the MS and PhD degrees in electrical and computer engineering from the University of Texas at Austin in 1998 and 2001, respectively. Thereafter, he has also had the privilege of working at the US Naval Observatory and also at the US Naval Research Laboratory from 1993 to 1997. So Mr. Dandekar joined the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department at Drexel University in 2001. And currently, he is the E. Warren Kohlhauer Chair Professor in Electrical and Computer Engineering at Drexel University, and also the director of the Drexel Wireless Systems Laboratory. I think this introduction is, just a brief introduction about Mr. Dandekar, because he has a lot of recognitions and accolades to his name. Along with Mr. Dandekar, we also have Mr. Professor Naga Kandaswamy, who is the Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering and an interim department head at Drexel University. And we have Sherry Levin, who is the Senior Director for Graduate Affairs and Recruitment for Drexel Engineering. So thank you so much to our distinguished panelists for taking out the time to address our audience on what it takes to pursue a graduate program in engineering, and what is an ideal career choice for somebody who's coming from a technical background, whether it's an MBA or an MS in engineering management. So without further ado, I hand it over to Mr. Dandekar. Mr. Dandekar, the stage is all yours.
Sounds great. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with all of you today. And on behalf of not just myself, but my colleagues from Drexel University, just very happy to be in this partnership with Upgrad and to have a chance to talk with you. So as you mentioned, a number of my colleagues are here from Drexel, Professor Kandasamy, Sherry Levin, and Janet Jacobs. We're happy to answer any questions that you might have while I'm presenting in the chat window. I also see Professor Rick Grandrino from our engineering management program is here as well to answer your questions. So we look forward to addressing the questions of various programs that are available in the College of Engineering through our partnership. So I'll provide just a brief overview of Drexel University and our College of Engineering before talking about the programs that are in this partnership, specifically looking at machine learning engineering as well as engineering management. When I discuss the engineering management program, I'll specifically discuss the topic of the webinar, which is the, how do you make a choice between an MBA and engineering management? We have, I think, some good information together to share with you on this front. We'll also discuss student life and the process that you can use in order to apply to our programs. We do have a vibrant graduate community that you can get involved with, as well as joining our programs through this application process. And then, of course, we'll answer any questions that you might have. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat window. My Drexel colleagues will hopefully see them and answer them, and then we'll cover anything that's not covered in the chat at the end during the Q&A session. So this is a picture of Drexel University, a beautiful picture of our urban campus. We are located in the heart of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is a major city on the northeast of the United States. Drexel is known for a number of different distinctions, one of which is our philosophy of what's called cooperative education. And this is something that really distinguishes Drexel, our undergraduate and graduate programs, from other universities across the United States. We allow for 6-month industrial co-op experiences, cooperative education, to be included within the degree program. So this is not something that's available at many other universities and is a unique characteristic of Drexel. You can do this through the CPT program, which is something that I'll discuss. But Drexel is really known for cooperative education. In our master's level, you can have up to 6 months of practical work experience as part of your degree. In our undergraduate program, you can have up to 18 months of practical work experience. So this is something that really distinguishes us. Drexel is also unique because we are what's called an R1 research intensive university. This is the highest level of research activity. What this means is that our faculty are leaders in the respective disciplines. We have top-notch facilities, and all of this provides greater opportunity for students. And the College of Engineering at Drexel really is the flagship within Drexel University. Drexel's history really is centered around engineering. So as I mentioned, we're located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We are on the northeast of the United States. We're a couple of hour train ride from New York City and Washington, D.C. You'll find, if you compare us to other universities, particularly urban universities in the United States, that the cost of living is less than what you might find in other East Coast cities. What's also notable about our campus and our face-to-face program is that you don't need to have a car to get around. It's very easy to get to and from the airport with public transportation. And Philadelphia really is just a great place to live and work and study. We've been consistently highly ranked as one of the 11 best student cities in the United States, according to QS. Another characteristic of Drexel is that we're on the quarter system. We have 4 10-week quarters, each quarter roughly aligning with one of the seasons. When I start discussing our curricular pathways to our engineering management program and machine learning engineering program, you'll see what appears to be more courses than you might find in a semester-based school. And that's due to our quarter system structure. It allows you to have the opportunity to mix and match additional classes. Whereas in a semester-based system, the master's degree is typically 30 semester credits. In a quarter system, it's 45 credits. And again, that will hopefully make more sense then when we're looking at the curriculum for the various programs under our partnership. Here are some statistics about Drexel Engineering. We have over 3,000 students. We really do very well in terms of research and translating new technologies to commercialization, and our programs are highly ranked in their respective areas. If you look at all of our programs, our face-to-face programs, they're all in the top 50th percentile of their respective disciplines, according to US News and World Report. The engineering management program that I'll be talking about in terms of online programs is a top 10 program. I believe it's number 8, which was something that we're quite proud of. And the content is all the same. What you get in the online program, you can also get in the face-to-face program that we're discussing through this partnership. As I mentioned, one of the unique characteristics of Drexel is our cooperative education. This allows for, in the master's program, up to 6 months of practical work experience to be included within the degree. This can be done under the CPT and as part of your curriculum. You don't actually have to register for credits when you're doing this program, but you are allowed to take classes. So you could register for those classes, but you're not required to register for the co-op itself. Many of the positions are paid and are full-time. So you can see some stats here on the amount of money that students make when they work on graduate co-op, and this can obviously be used to offset the cost of education. And this is something that when I go through and discuss pathways to engineering management and to machine learning engineering through our partnership, it'll allow you, it can be incorporated within the plan of study. So you can do a program with or without cooperative education. So the way that co-op works is that students can take a 10-week professional development class to build essential skills necessary for conducting a job search. Our Steinbreit Career Development Center has many resources that students can use in order to find co-op employment. And certainly, I know that many of the students who come from Upgrad have industrial experience already. If you're working for a company that has a branch in the United States and they're willing to host you in the United States as a graduate co-op, it's very easy for new employers to be added to our system. So this can provide a nice way for you to make a transition from working, say, for a company in India and that same company if they have a branch in the United States. This is a list of various graduate co-op employers. You can see a wide variety of different types of companies that are available. And again, students can conduct their own search. They can use resources from our Steinbreit Center to network with alumni, to attend career fairs. Steinbreit will also help you to articulate your career goals, write a resume, and conduct a search. So that we are very passionate about setting students up to get full-time employment, and there are many resources that are available for this. So you can see a number of programs that are provided by Steinbreit to help you prepare for a job interview. They'll vet your LinkedIn profile. They'll look at your resume and CV to help you build your professional network through career fairs, through alumni networks with Drexel. They'll tell you how to conduct a job search and negotiate a salary. So, and if you follow this Steinbreit Center link that's at the bottom right of the slide, you can certainly get access to all of the resources that are available. I do also want to say that there are a vibrant graduate student community that's available at Drexel. So in addition to having a graduate student association and international graduate student association, we also have Pragathi, which is the Indian Graduate Student Association, which is a very large group on campus. So there are certainly cultural and social opportunities that are available through student organizations. We have other student organizations, some of which are listed here, such as the Society of Women Engineers. We also have professional society aligned associations as well, and a wide variety of things. So there's a great way, there are many ways that you can get involved in the campus when you're here. So let's talk now specifically about the topic of the webinar, which are the programs within the Upgrad and Drexel Engineering Partnership. We'll be talking first about engineering management and the difference between an MBA and engineering management degree. We'll also be talking about machine learning engineering. So first, let me start off by discussing our MS in engineering management. So this really does prepare students for leadership and management positions within technology-based organizations. For students who are looking to study in engineering management, we are looking for people who have a bachelor's degree in engineering science or a STEM field. And certainly, if you want to attain a leadership position in your company, your technical company, an engineering management degree can be a good option for you to consider. We'll actually, in a future slide, discuss various roles within companies and how engineering management or an MBA might prepare you for some of these different roles. So I'll go through that in some detail. But this really is a multidisciplinary program that allows you to pick a tailored program that aligns with what you want to learn with technology or management. As I mentioned, this program is very highly ranked. It's one of the top 10 best engineering management programs in the country for at least for the last 5 years, according to U.S. News and World Report. It's also been certified by the American Society for Engineering Management, and graduates have the opportunity to get various certificates, which I'll talk on the next slide, that can align with what they've done in their degree. So you can actually see some more information about those certificates here. So the program has been awarded with the status of certified graduate program by ASM initially in 2017 and recertified in 2022. You can see that we're one of only 8 universities that have this distinction. So this is something that we're very proud of. And as I mentioned, there are a number of certificates that you can be qualified for when you complete our program, specifically a certified associate in engineering management or a certified professional in engineering management without having to take the certifying exam. So this is something that is definitely a value add for our program. So let's talk now specifically about the difference between engineering management and an MBA. So there are differences in terms of the educational background that you might have to pursue this option, what kind of work experience requirements that you might have, as well as the admission requirements. And I'll talk through each one of those. First, in terms of background, the engineering management is really focused on STEM graduates, and it's a good postgraduate degree for engineers who are wishing to advance their careers in technology areas. Whereas the MBA is a better option for students who might be interested in business-related fields. For an MBA, you need typically 2 to 3 years of work experience and a GMAT to take an MBA, whereas with engineering management, we don't actually require work experience, and there are no standardized testing requirements in terms of the GMAT or the GRE. And then finally, for admission requirements, we're looking for a bachelor's degree in STEM or related fields with a 3.0 or better GPA for engineering management. But with an MBA, we're looking for a bachelor's degree in any technical or non-technical field with 3.0 or better GPA. And you can see, some of the differences about, how the multidisciplinary curriculum in engineering management provides a good technology focus coupled with the management side. Whereas the MBA appeals to more technology and the finance side of things. So this is a difference in the curriculum that you might expect. I won't read through all of these, but you can certainly look at some of the topics that are covered on both sides. The left column essentially describes some of the highlights in the curriculum in the MBA program, and the right column discusses the Master of Science in Engineering Management. You can see some of the differences. I mean, there are certainly some similarities, but there are also a number of differences between these areas. You would see, more discussion on business strategies, on the MBA side, more on the finance side, whereas there are differences in classes, where engineering management, engineering economics, financial management for engineers, all of those topics would be within the engineering management. And we actually have our program advisor and our lead faculty for this program who are joining this call. So if you have any questions about the curriculum or very specific classes, I'll actually go through the curriculum in a few slides. And if you have any questions about specific classes, we're happy to answer them. So this is a list of kind of the outcomes of what you might expect if you were going from an engineering management or an MBA or both, right? And we're looking at essentially different types of teams and organizations, a project management team, an engineering function team, and the executive management team. And the different color coding on the slide shows in green what could be done if you have an MBA. In dark blue, what happens if you have a degree in engineering management at the master's level, and then in brown showing essentially both. And you'll find that with the exception of the financial manager and a project management team and the executive management team, the CFO, the MS and engineering management really prepares you for all of these leadership roles, either dedicated or along with with the MBA. So, the Master of Science in Engineering Management provides, many opportunities for you to take on leadership in a wide variety of areas. So this is, and this is something that we're certainly very excited by. So let's talk now about the core curriculum. So you can see a list of the various classes in the different areas of engineering management in terms of quantitative analysis, economics and financial management, and then a capstone project. So as I mentioned, we have the advisors here for this program. So if you have any questions about any specific class, we'd be happy to provide some additional information. And we'll certainly make these slides available to you as attendees so you can refer back to them. But Upgrad, if you're coming from through our partnership, you will need to complete 10 core courses. There are 30 credits of the program. You will receive up to 15 credits, 15 quarter credits as electives for work that's completed in the Upgrad program. So in a future slide, I have a table of some of the classes that I know that Upgrad students will take as preparatory for this program. And we've developed a way that you can map those credits to our quarter credits, and you can transfer up to 15 of them. Once you've done that, our master's degree is 45 credits, so you would still need to complete 30 credits of the program at Drexel. So this is a list of the various Upgrad courses and the Drexel equivalent transfers. I won't read through them all, but we will make these slides available to you as a follow-up so that you can have this information as a reference. And certainly if you have any questions about how what you've taken will translate to our curriculum, you can certainly reach out to us during the application process, and we'd be very happy to answer your questions and work with you to transfer these credits to our master's program. This is the way that the plan of study is laid out. Again, remember that we are on the quarter system, so you might see more classes than you might expect if you're looking at a semester system. Also remember that we are a cooperative education university, so you do have the option, it's not a requirement, to do a graduate co-op. So this is showing what students entering in the fall quarter might expect through this program, where you can take a combination of face-to-face and online classes indicated with F2F and O. You can see the various classes. For our co-op option, you have to take a co-op 500 level class in the fall quarter when you first enter. This will help you to conduct your co-op job search, but if you have one through your current employer, that's certainly something that we can work with you to get them listed as a graduate co-op employer. So you would take essentially 9 credits per quarter. That's what's required for full-time enrollment in our programs and face-to-face to maintain your student visa status. And then in the summer, fall, between the first year and second year, you would participate in a graduate co-op. You would then do winter and then graduate in the following winter after that. So with 1 class and a less than full-time exemption. If you start in the program without co-op, it can actually be completed within a single year. And you can see again the fall, winter, spring classes, and then the summer term graduation. So starting in fall, you can complete this program within a single year. We also have plans of study that have been developed for students wishing to go to engineering management starting in the winter. Realize that that might be the way that a number of you enter if you join this first year of our partnership. And again, you can see the 9 credits per quarter. You can see the co-op 500 level class in the first quarter, and then students would graduate in the following spring after completing a co-op. And then finally, without a co-op, with a winter entry, you can do winter, spring, summer, and then graduate the following fall. So all of this is to say we have a number of flexible options that you can use to complete your program with various entry terms. And we're very excited to be working with Upgrad to be able to offer all of these different entryways to our engineering management program. So that was a brief discussion of engineering management. Let me also now talk about the other program in our Upgrad partnership, which is our Master of Science in Machine Learning Engineering. So this is, again, a program that's housed in our College of Engineering and our Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering in Philadelphia. You can see that Drexel actually has a number of Fortune 500 companies that have their headquarters in Philadelphia. So you can see a list of some of them here: Comcast, IBM, and others. Philadelphia is also rapidly expanding in the healthcare sector with a really strong growth outlook in the coming years. And many Drexel students are involved in these companies, in these large companies, with a large number of them securing a job with a former co-op employer, and almost all of our students being employed. And you can see some of the yearly salary statistics from our graduates with an average annual salary of over $85,000. You can see where a number of alumni are working, coming from these different areas. So you can see the top 50 or so employers from our programs in electrical and computer engineering, a wide variety of companies in different areas. You could also see in the bottom right of the slide how the size of the companies varies very dramatically. Some people will work for smaller companies and others will work for larger companies. You can also see how our degree prepares you to work in a wide variety of technology sectors. So defense, energy, hardware and software and information systems, even in finance and health, we have an appreciable number of students who go into. So the degree really does prepare you quite well for a wide variety of different areas. This is a list of our various faculty who are working on topics that are aligned with machine learning engineering. And you can see faculty who are working on computer vision, on machine learning for bioinformatic applications, biologically inspired learning systems, automated decision-making for health applications, human robotic interaction and machine learning and image and speech recognition, music information retrieval, and multimedia forensics. So a wide variety of different application areas for machine learning engineering that you could choose to pursue. There's a list of faculty here that you might be interested in looking at. That's at the bottom of the slide. So what we're looking for the background of students coming into the machine learning engineering degree are prerequisites in applied math and statistics, data analysis, and introductory probability. We are also looking for computer programming, ideally in Python. When you're considering the question of coming from a data science background, why should you consider an engineering degree with machine learning engineering? One of the things that we firmly believe in putting together the machine learning engineering degree is that it's not important to not just be able to use machine learning, but you need to understand how machine learning algorithms are put together. And that puts you in a much better competitive position when you're going out into the workplace. There are a lot of people who can just kind of jockey and use existing ML toolkits. It's another thing to understand how these systems work. And that's the differentiator that you get when you pursue the machine learning engineering degree, as opposed to continuing on in more of a data science area. So you'll learn how to develop, optimize, and implement machine learning algorithms. You'll have an opportunity to see how this maps to different types of hardware platforms. You'll be able to develop strong programming and software development skills, be able to look at different application areas of machine learning. And then as a result of kind of understanding better what's happening under the hood, we believe you'll have higher earning and career growth potential as companies are investing more and more in this technology space. So let's talk about a partnership. Again, here we are accepting a number of classes from the data science certificate course. 9 credits will be transferable into our MS and machine learning engineering program. We have a list of the various classes that are on the slide. And again, if you have any questions about how what you've taken would align to our program, we'd be happy to address those questions either now or during the application process. You can also see here a list of various machine learning engineering classes that are available as part of the program. As I mentioned, you'll really understand how these algorithms work under the hood. So there are foundations of machine learning engineering where you can learn about different approaches, the mathematical foundations for machine learning, as well as how to use common toolkits. You'll also learn about how to develop machine learning algorithms, but also critically how to map machine learning engineering algorithms to specific hardware. If you want to learn how they run on ASIC or on new neuromorphic computing systems, you have an opportunity to do this. And then you'll finally be able to see various applications. So you can look and see at what implications ML has for music or for computer vision or for multimedia forensics or bioinformatics, or robotics. So there are many different ways that you can apply machine learning through engineering specific applications. This is what our plan of study would look like for students who are entering. Again, we will accept 9 credits, quarter credits towards our 45 credit degree program. You can see a list of the various classes and when you would take them for the winter entry. That's kind of what we're assuming would be the first pathway for Upgrad students to join our programs. So in winter and spring, you would be taking 9 classes along with a co-op 500 in the first quarter. And then again, if you are, you can do a summer vacation quarter or a summer co-op, and then complete your degree the following winter. And you can take classes not just within electrical engineering, but also some of the machine learning courses that I described earlier as technical electives. If you're starting in the fall, again, the schedule looks a little bit different. Fall, winter, and spring classes, either a vacation or co-op quarter in the summer, and then graduate the following fall. And again, with the elective options that I mentioned. So those are really the two programs, and I just now wanted to conclude my formal remarks by talking about the application process. So we'll work very closely with our colleagues at Upgrad to manage the application process. At Drexel, we do have an online application that you use, to reward you for being as part of Upgrad and being a part of our partnership. We're happy to waive the graduate application fee for you when you're applying to our program. And if you're looking to start this winter, which I believe would probably be the earliest quarter when people can start, the deadline would be October 1st. And ideally in time for you to get a student visa in time, we recommend that you apply as soon as possible. Once you are accepted, you'll receive a notification in your student portal. You'll need to make a deposit, and that will start the I-20 process to allow you to get your student visa. And then you'll also receive an email from your academic advisor. Janet Jacobs is here and Rob Lazar are here. Those are two advisors for the programs that we're discussing. And you'll have a chance to then have a welcome at the start of January, hopefully in our programs. These are some of the requirements of our application. Looking for the online application form, we're looking for a 4-year Bachelor of Science degree in engineering. At engineering or another international institution. If you're coming from a non-engineering background and interested in pursuing this pathway, there are options available. Just get in touch with us. We are looking generally for a cumulative undergraduate GPA of 3.0 or above, but again, we do consider the entire application. We are looking for official transcripts from all universities and colleges attended. This can be unofficial transcripts at first, but in order to finalize and join the program, you would need to have eventually of official transcripts. You'd need letters of recommendation, either from a professor that you had in your undergraduate program, or if you're coming from industry, more recently, someone in a supervisory position to you at work. And then we're looking for a resume. We are optional for GRE tests if you have taken them and have done very well on the quantitative. We'd be willing to consider additional tuition discounts, but it's not required for entry to our program. And then finally, we're looking for an essay that essentially discusses, what your career goals are and what has driven you to our programs. So that really concludes our formal remarks. As I mentioned, we have a number of my Drexel colleagues here who are happy to answer questions along with myself in these areas. We have a number of representatives from our engineering management program. Professor Rick Grandrino and Laud Rosario are here. We also have representatives from our machine learning engineering program. Professor Kandasamy, Professor Anup Das is here, and Janet Jacobs are here. And then we have Sherry Levin, one of my colleagues here, to also help with questions pertaining to the application process. So we stand ready to answer whatever questions that you might have. I haven't actually been looking at the chat while I've been speaking, so hopefully someone can tell me if we've had questions addressed there, but we're happy to answer your questions now. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mr. Dandekar, for the very detailed presentation. And I do see that there are a lot of questions from learners regarding the eligibility criteria. And I can also see that there are a lot of you who are raising your hands. So if I may request you to kindly post your questions on the Q&A box, and we will take it forward from there. So one of the questions, Mr. Dandekar, that a learner has is that they are an aviation graduate and they have pursued a BSc in aircraft maintenance engineering. And they also happen to have more than 9 years of experience. But the learner is currently conflicted between whether they should take up an MBA program or an MS in engineering management. And what do you think? What would you think is the ideal program for them?
Sure. Well, in my incredibly biased opinion, I think that the engineering management degree is the way to go. But I'll maybe ask my colleague, Professor Rick Grandrino, to chime in because he's an expert in this area and I think can provide some great expertise. So, Rick, do you want to chime in and answer
Yes,
that, please?
I'm sorry. What was your question again? I was just responding to a student in the
So
chat room.
Yeah, so the
Sure.
question is someone who's coming from an aviation graduate, a BSc
Okay.
in aircraft maintenance engineering, has 9 years of experience, or they have 9 years of experience, and confused about which masters to pursue.
Okay. I'm biased to the engineering management as well, because if you're looking to career to work in a technology-based company, I think the engineering management is a better fit or a better curriculum for you to take, primarily because the MBA is great too. In fact, I graduated with an MBA. All right. So I went through the MBA, but I see the value of the engineering management, particularly in technology-based companies. I also worked in Lockheed Martin, so I have a great deal of experience. I held various positions in leadership. And when you're an entry level engineer, leadership could start right away. You could be put on a project team, like a project lead or a lead engineer, and manage a few group of people. Or you'll eventually maybe transition to a functional manager or a project manager or even a director, but you're managing technical oriented people and personnel. So the engineering management focuses on that. It's an engineering degree. And it gives you the skills. We give you the skills to transition into leadership roles. Plus, one of the unique things about our program that I'm really proud of is that we have academia that's not only experienced with academia, but also have significant experience in industry. They actually worked in industry doing leadership roles. So you're learning from people that have applied the skills in a real lifetime role. Like me, for instance, I worked Lockheed Martin for 32 years, been through a variety of different leadership roles. And one of the things that you need to get into these leadership roles is you got to have, or management roles, I should say management. You have to have leadership skills, got to be able to communicate. You have to deal with different personalities and understand that. So we give you the skills to do all that. And those skills are coming from personnel that worked a great deal in industry at all different levels. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Grandrino. I think that was a very appropriate answer. And I think what I gathered from what you just mentioned is that in today's workplaces, both the technical expertise and management tools are extremely pivotal. And it's only an engineering management degree which coalesces both of these fields. And that's why you say that ideally a person who's coming from a tech background should leverage his tech skill sets and also
Exactly.
an engineering management degree.
Yes. And another thing, we're connected with industry a great deal through our instructors and also through our advisory board. We have an advisory board that advises us. We're always upgrading our program because we always ask the question, what does industry need today and in the future that's not provided by colleges? And we're usually one of the top universities that's right on that in providing those skills and providing new coursework. Also, the American Society of Engineering Managers, just by us being certified by them is an indication of our connection to industry. And that's another thing too. The society holds conferences each year and with different and you know that's technology based too. It's American Society for Engineering Managers, engineering management. So we're connected to that, and once you graduate, as Kapil mentioned, you get a certificate through them that you wouldn't normally get. You'd have to pass an examination to get that. So that's a criteria. That's something that you have on your resume that also provides you not an indication of your knowledge and skills, not only recognized by Drexel University, but recognized by the guiding society as well.
Right.
So yes.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, Mr. Grandino. And I think Drexel University also holds the recognition of being the very first institution in the country to launch a engineering
Yes,
management program. So
that's true. Back in 1959, it was launched. And the focus of how it was launched back then, it was basically answering a question from the local engineering companies that, hey, we teach engineering, we're involved with engineering, but we need managers to manage engineer. And that's how the program started. So the program always had this feedback and connection to industry from the early going. We were also one of the first to go online. In 2000, we went online with our program, and we both have the same program. The online program is exactly the same as the face-to-face. So the students that we do have, especially the ones from India, the F1 visa students, they like that. They like the opportunity of taking a face-to-face class, but also having online resources available to them. Let's say they get sick and they can't make a class. They have the online resource available to them of that same class, so they don't lose any classwork at all. So that convenience for them, they really enjoy. They enjoy the fact that we're meeting face to face, we have those discussions, but we also have online capability available for them as well.
great. Thank you so much, Mr. Grandrino, for answering that question. Following that question, I also have another very interesting question from a student who has completed a BTech in mechanical engineering, and they have 3 years of work experience, but in a very different domain, and that is in business development and operations. So ideally for your programs, of course, you are not looking for work experience, but how would you say that this learner's profile would fit into the MSc in engineering management, and what would you say should be the roadmap that he charts out for himself?
My understanding your question, they're asking about the level of work experience that you do have. Is that what the question was?
Right.
The
Yes.
fact that you don't, okay. One of the other benefits of our program is that we have face-to-face program and we have online. Our online program consists of individuals that primarily work full-time. They're already working in engineering industries. So when we designed the face-to-face program, we thought, let's try to somehow combine the two, because it'll be a value for those who are full-time, never really worked in industry. They don't have that skill yet, but they're in classroom environment with students that have worked in industry. Now, that's not with all the classes, it's with some of the classes. And we do that by design to kind of have that leverage where, our online students who are seasoned and worked in industry, they'll get to work in groups sometimes with the students that really never worked in industry. So it's a learning experience
Right.
from both ends. Learning experience for those who never worked in industry. They're going to work in groups with individuals that work in industry. Also a learning experience from the other end, that some of the individuals that work in industry, they could kind of see with the insight of a new generation of engineers that are coming into the workforce. And these are future leaders too. These are future leaders that are going to be hiring personnel. So our alumni, we have an outreach to our alumni where they often hire students from our program because they went through it and they understand it. So it's a great opportunity for this intermix, so to speak, and almost like a networking opportunity, because that's ultimately what you're here for. You're here to get a good job and to propel your career, and we prepare you well for that.
Perfect. So ideally, even if they have an experience in a completely different domain, and that is in business development and sales previously, the curriculum is designed to adapt to their existing skill sets and also prepare them for a career in engineering management.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. So one of our learners has a question with respect to, if they are an engineering grad major, they've done an engineering undergrad degree, and their question is, with an MS in engineering management, how effectively can they compete with students who have let's say, done an MBA program, and what kind of roles, would open up for them?
Okay, remember, there are two different programs producing two different skills. The engineering management provides better leadership skills if you wish to work in a technology-based organization, right? Just by our core curriculum, and also by the instructors that teach the courses. All of our instructors worked in engineering-based operations, so they're familiar with the experience of what it's like when you have a leadership role. And as I said, leadership starts at the very fundamental, could start as entry level. Within 1 or 2 years, you could be a lead engineer or managing a project, a small project of some sort. So you need those skills in order to acquire positions like this. You need to have those leadership skills early on. And, once again, if you're looking to work in like financial operations, maybe marketing, not so much technical marketing. Technical marketing is a little bit different. You're better off, if you want to stay focused in an engineering, technological-based organization, you're better off with the engineering management degree.
Perfect. So ideally, if you're looking for management positions within tech-based organizations, then an engineering management degree is perfect for you. All right. Just before we close, I have a couple of questions from learners. And one of the questions is that, in our partnership with Upgrad, of course, there are two pathways that are available for the learners. So one pathway is where they have to ideally do a management program, which is the program with IMT Ghaziabad, which is an advanced general management program. And the other one, as Mr. Dandekar has already mentioned, is the advanced certificate program in data science. Now, what would you suggest the learner keep in mind before opting for any of the pathways?
Okay, either one of them is excellent, and we'll accept those as elective credits. Our core courses, our course is structured where you take 10 core courses, 5 electives. This is also another versatility that we have in our program. We encourage students to tailor the electives to their field of interest. If they're interested in the energy sector, take elective courses that are offered by maybe mechanical engineering or electrical engineering, focused on energy. If they're interested in machine learning or cybersecurity, take your elective courses and tailor it that way. Now, data analytics is really important in engineering with respect to making decisions. So we have a strong decision science core where you take engineering statistics, operations research, all right? If you're in business administration, you take operations management. 2 different courses, operations research, more goes into the depth of analytics, all right? I'm modeling, it's basically deterministic modeling, but it also focuses on sensitivity analysis, more so than operations management. And then you take statistical data analysis, which again is engineering oriented. Now, in my experience, you need to be a good data analytics when you're a leader in industry, because oftentimes you're given information that's ambiguous and you have to make quick decisions. If you can somehow quantify those decisions via a model of some sort, or statistical evaluation, or a data analytical evaluation, it helps you make better decisions. So we have a strong decision science core, and anyone that's focused in on data analytics right now will accept those credits because that fits in very well to what we're trying to teach you.
Sure. Yes. Mr. Dandekar, would you also like to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I think, I agree with what Professor Grandrino said, that, I think that, the machine learning and data analytics background, I think, would be helpful for both of the programs through the partnership, right? Laying the foundation for engineering management, as Professor Grandrino mentioned, as well as the advanced credential in machine learning engineering. I think that, both of those pathways, could benefit from having that ML and data science expertise.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. We have observed that in both of these courses, we do not ask for work experience, and there are questions from our learners who have just completed their graduations. And one of the questions is that they are currently pursuing their BSc in computer science. And would you recommend that they gain some work experience before going ahead with their MS in engineering management program?
You don't have to. Oftentimes, if you work in industry, one of the advantages of waiting a few years before going to graduate school is that you work in industry and you can see what you really like or dislike.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that may change your career goals as you start to work. However, if you graduate with an engineering degree and you desire to work in engineering, we accept students that don't necessarily have experience because we're going to train them for leadership roles that will help them throughout their career. So you don't necessarily need to have 2 or 3 years experience. I would only recommend that if you're unsure of what what your goals are.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to get 1 or 2 years experience before going to graduate school, just to see if you like working in an engineering environment. I often say this too, because when I graduated, I was a graduate from mechanical engineering years ago, and I started working in the workforce in engineering. I started in the energy sector and then transferred to the defense, aerospace and defense companies. But oftentimes what I saw, young engineers like myself, they didn't really like the environment. They went for an MBA and they got a completely different job outside of that market. And they wouldn't have known that unless they started working in the field.
Sure.
So that's the advantage of working in the field. However, many students today, young students, they want to get started, and we recognize that. So if you want to get started in your career, you don't have to have that work experience. We don't look at that as a main requirement in the admissions application. If you demonstrated good skills in your undergraduate degree, achieved a 3.0 or better, we'll take you in. We'll take you in and we'll train you with the leadership skills that you need to be successful, to be our next managers in organizations for today and for tomorrow.
Perfect.
Rick, can I just add one point to that?
Sure, go ahead, Rob.
I would just say that for those students that have not had a significant job experience, our particular program actually facilitates that by virtue of the fact that our instructors, as Professor Grandrino said, are mostly from industry. So right away, you're getting exposure to people that come from industry executives, which also can help you delineate and move towards a industry or job type that you like. So by virtue of the fact you're going to be in an academic setting with industry experts will also help facilitate that industry insight for you.
Yeah, thanks, Rob, for mentioning that. And I think all of this is why we're nationally ranked. We're one of the best programs in the country. We're in the top 10. We always flip. We were as high as number 3. We moved down to 7, 8, back up to 5. So we're always recognized as the top 10. I think we're number 1 in the country, primarily because the strength of our faculty. All of our faculty have experience. You're learning from people that actually did this. That's a big difference.
Right. I think that makes a lot of difference, the kind of exposure you gain from the faculty, and also as Professor Dandekar has already mentioned, the kind of exposure that you have because you are in the vicinity of a lot of good organizations, and you also have the internship, the facility of an internship for learners to get the hands-on experience.
That's correct.
Yeah, I think the learner was coming from the perspective that if I am graduating with an MS in engineering management, but I hold no prior experience, would only entry-level positions be open for me? Or can I expect that at least I can, enter into an entry-level managerial role?
Well, yeah, you're not going to graduate and go right to CEO.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to start out in entry level. But again, you're going to start out in entry level and you're going to demonstrate leadership skills. Right. Managers recognize that. All right, they recognize that. When they go to choose people for like a small project management, you'll start to get leadership roles. And that'll eventually lead to higher management positions. You know, it's really leadership that we're teaching you. All right, management is a supplement of that, but it's the leadership skills that you need to demonstrate as you go through your career.
And there's a hunger for leadership
Yes,
in these
there is.
particular areas.
There
There's a
is,
big
and
demand for that.
And it starts early on. So yeah, you're going to graduate, you're going to get an entry-level position. You're going to be doing engineering, but you're going to have the skills that will allow you to progress through different variations of management positions. Start out as a lead engineer, project manager, maybe a functional manager. I went all through that my career. Most of us did. All of our instructors did the same thing. We went through the career path and wound up in different management positions. I was a director over at Lockheed Martin, but held a lot of different management positions. And there were some times in my career I wanted to work operations analysis. I remember that I was a lead engineer, so I'm a project manager, and I stepped down on my career just to be an engineer again, to work in operations management, to work as an operations analyst. So, you know, throughout your career, you're going to have different decisions, and having the versatility of leadership skills will allow you to bounce around in various positions that are offered by your company. And it gives you more or less the decision-making field. At that point in my career, I just was really interested in data analytics, and I wanted to increase my skills there. So I worked in operations analysis as an engineer. Then I eventually went on to manage the group, because again, I demonstrated my leadership skills while I was performing my engineering functions. So I hope this answers all your questions, but if you are interested in management, you need to acquire the leadership skills. And there's a lot that goes on with that. It's communications, it's how to deal with different personalities. So we get into the philosophical views of personality, because you're managing technical workers, all right, in all different kinds. You'll realize how to utilize these technical workers and help them advance as well. So we give you all those skills to do that. We got a great program, and I'm proud of the program, and we hope to see you on campus.
Yeah, I'd like to second that. I mean, I think we're coming to the end of the session, and just like to thank everyone for their interest in our programs. We really hope to see you on campus, and we're very excited about the partnership between Drexel Engineering and Upgrad. And if we can definitely discuss next steps, applications, what discounts would be for students coming through the partnership, or the various pathways to the programs we've described. We'd be very happy to have those follow-up discussions. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think, yes, we are at the close of the webinar, but we do have a couple of unanswered questions, which Professor Dandekar, we could take it up later. And all the learners who are on this call, all the audience who've joined us, if you have any additional questions, you can always reach out to the Upgrad counselors. My colleague here, Arushi, would post the link to our website on the chat box, and you can reach out to any academic counselor, and we'll be happy to take your queries from there on. Professor Dandekar, Mr. Jacobs, Mr. Grandrino, Mr. Kandaswamy, and Mr. Das as well. Thank you so much for taking out the time. I know you're incredibly busy, but it was a pleasure to host you. And thank you so much for the very engaging discussion. And I'm sure that all the learners are really looking forward to enroll in both of these courses. And I'm sure that this is going to be a very exciting partnership for both of us.
Thank you. Pleasure talking to you as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to host you. Thank you very much.